But I think that just, I don't know, Buffalo is just riding the wave right now based off emotions, Lamar Hamlin. So I think they got this. I don't see
We're going to get into that.
Let's jump right in. Yo, what's up, gentlemen? What's going on? It's Tuesday night. We on the hook. The hook is live. And who do we have on tonight with us? We got my man Smitty, Rupa High, Russell.
Yes, salutations, peoples.
Jordan, what's up, man?
Hi, how are you?
What is the good word? Jordan is bringing us some knowledge, some analytics. He's hopping on here. He's been running some of the page for us on Facebook and Instagram. So we're going to give him a little shine on the hook. So welcome aboard. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So, hey, big things happening last night. Obviously, we had a national championship game going on between the Michigan Wolverines and the Washington Huskies. Didn't really go quite the way I thought, or maybe it did. Not really sure. So college football is ending. We have NFL playoffs that are going to be upon us. A lot of stuff going on in New England. Does Bill stay? Does Bill go? Then we have a little bit of Red Sox still doing nothing. We're going to jump all over the place today. So, let's jump right in. Last night we had a big game in NRG Stadium where the Wolverines took on the Washington Huskies. Gentlemen, what was your thoughts on the game? Smitty, I'm going to start with you.
My thoughts were, Michigan from the rip, they looked like they was going to run it down Washington's throat. They controlled the ball. If I'm not mistaken, the first half, 175 rushing yards. What do you say about that, Jordan? Am I right? Am I off on that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay,
Let's
so
go.
175 yards rushing. It was just off the charts, and Washington, I expected a little bit more out of them, throwing down the field. And they were throwing some short yardage passing. It was just, I didn't expect that, to be honest with you. I expected Michigan to come out on top, but I thought that the game was going to be closer, So at the end of the day, congratulations to Michigan. I believe we're going to get into as far as, are they the best team? Is that the best team? Like you said, Ray, later on. I don't think so, but that's just my opinion. What do you think, Russ?
So, listen, I got to be honest with you. I was a little concerned for Michigan. I thought they kind of let them hang around a lot longer in the game than they should have. And even in the beginning with the rushing yards they had, Johnson touched the ball twice and ended up with I don't even know how many yards. And then he didn't touch it for like the next two sets of downs. So I thought Michigan let them hang around a little longer than they were going to. And I think it was a closer game than what it ended up being. Basically, thank God for a punt return. So yeah, it was, I don't know where they are historically all time. I don't know that I was that impressed with them, but yeah, that's where I stand. Jordan.
Yeah. If you like Smitty said with the rushing yards, I felt like they really just like controlled that early. What I have written down, the Michigan Wolverines had 303 rushing yards on the whole game compared to 46 rushing yards for Washington. And I understand that their running back did go down, but I think Washington needed to just have that next guy up mentality. It seemed like they just weren't really hungry enough once they actually got into the big moment. And it's not like they just couldn't stop them in general, because Michigan only had 140 passing yards. So it's not like, it's not like they overpowered them in every aspect of the game. I just think that they just couldn't get the job done offensively.
Kev, what do you
What's
got
up?
on this, man? I know you got a lot going on. What's going on, brother?
No, everything's good. Just to piggyback off what Jordan said, it is a big deal when your 1,100-yard rusher is hurt. And I was under the impression when I picked Washington in an upset that he was going to be healthy enough to create balance. Against a defense like Michigan, it's virtually impossible to beat them if you do not have balance. And when Michael Penix started throwing the ball, you look at the statistics. I mean, he in the first half he threw the ball almost 30 times. They literally had no ability to have that balance. And as soon as a team like Michigan knows you're going to throw constantly, they're going to pin their ears back, and that's exactly what happened. But the game was right there for Washington, if you remember, right there for Washington. And that holding call on the right tackle was enormous. They had a big play down the sideline, and that would have put them, at least from a driving perspective, down one score. So it was right there, and then kind of everything kind of fell off. But I'm not shocked Michigan won. I've said this before. I'm shocked how they won, and I would have loved to see a healthy Johnson. I really would have. But it is what it is. Credit to Michigan.
Yeah, you know what? You guys all pretty much hit on the head. However, a little more to add is that, JJ McCarthy, he didn't really do too much. Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards absolutely went crazy. Going into the game, we knew that Washington couldn't stop anything. Texas proved it last week. Somehow they managed to stay in the game. And that was the mind-boggling thing to me, because Michigan did the same thing against Alabama. Michigan steamrolled Alabama in the first half. They pretty much had their way running the ball against Washington. So it's like, was Jim Harbaugh what was he doing? Just keep giving the ball. Keep letting them run the ball. But congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. Yep. They pretty much did what we thought they were going to do, I guess, as far as controlling the clock, running the ball. They were successful, and they won the football game. So, looking at this game, looking at this Michigan Wolverine team, by the way, fun fact, I don't know if anybody did read this on the Hook page or not, but the last time Michigan won a national championship was in 1997. I'm sorry. 1997 was the last year Michigan Wolverines won a natty. The following year, the BCS was formed, and it changed. Well, this is the last year of the 4-man BCS format. We're going to 12-man next year. So if you're a Michigan fan, you better hope for a yearly format change so you can keep winning it. There you go.
Ray, there's one other thing that I noticed too. That I don't know how much you guys paid attention in between the plays, but even the discipline of the teams. If you watched Michigan during the timeouts and in the huddle, they are definitely more disciplined than what Washington was doing. Their timeouts, the team was all over the sidelines, not huddled up together. And in their huddle, they half of them didn't have their ear in, like they were even listening. I thought that was a little off for a national championship game and a team of that caliber.
Well, you would figure that your players would be up and ready to go, and obviously they weren't. And to be honestly, were they shook? I mean, I thought Michael Penix looked composed in the beginning of that game. The first couple of plays weren't great, and they called a time. I don't know if it was a timeout, whatever it was. And the look on his face was focused, but he didn't look very focused. He was rushing, throwing the ball. Like Dave Morrison has in the chat, he missed so many open guys.
But why is that? But why is that?
Well, it was the pressure from the Michigan front, and full credit to the full credit to the defense, but you know what? You're going to go into the NFL, and these players are going to be bigger, faster, stronger, right? Yeah. And the pressure is only going to get worse.
Yeah.
So this was one of my questions that we had on here, and I guess we'll just jump right into it.
Sure.
Did this affect, and we'll go around the horn, did this affect Michael Penix draft stock at all? Russ, you go first.
I mean, I don't think so. I think he might have had a down game. I mean, I know he missed a couple passes. He kind of Mac Jones one there at the end, where if he would have hit that wide open receiver, it could have been a definitely change in the game, because I think that's what Kev was trying to say. Michigan let them hang around for a long time. And if Penix made any one of those, smaller plays, it could have been a difference in the game. But the other side of that too is, and I know I made the comment in our text thread, about him getting humped in the face all game. I mean, somewhere along the line, he got his ribs kicked in, and you're getting beat on like that, and you're in that pocket for that extra second. whether it looks wide open to us or not on TV, he's probably thinking that the boogeyman's coming and going to kick the rest of his ribs in. So
Ray, you were a quarterback. You know this. When you're faced with constant pressure, and really when you know you're getting nothing out of the run game and you're in a pressure spot against a really, really terrific defense, your clock, and Herb Street said this last night, your clock, like his clock in terms of how he plays the game for the last 2 years is composed. It's calm. He moves to get away from pressure, keeps his eyes downfield, and makes plays. That's who he is. He's accurate. Michigan just completely caused that to be the opposite. And he was missing people because he was rushing. His clock was off. And I'm telling you, that holding call changed the complexion of the game. It was a one-score game. They were driving down the field. They finally hit their star receiver down the sidelines, Udozi, and then it got called back. Then he got sacked. Then he threw a pick.
Is it going to affect his draft stock?
No.
No. Smitty, what's your thoughts?
I don't think so. I mean, he's predicted among the quarterbacks. What is he predicted to go number 4? Right?
Yeah.
You got Caleb
Yeah.
Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels,
Yep.
Michael Penix, and then Bo Nix, and so on.
Well, Nix is
No,
going back.
I don't think so. But that's just my opinion.
Jordan, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I really agree with you guys. I don't think it's going to affect this draft stock. Although it is a very important game, you got to realize it's only one game. He led his team undefeated all the way to that championship game. And a lot of the times, Washington was counted out from the get-go. And I don't think anyone or very few people expected them to even make the college football playoffs. So I think just what he did there shows that, you know, he could be a good pick for a team that's in need of a quarterback. So I don't necessarily think that it affected him.
Last thing, Ray, on this topic.
Yes.
I have a second round grade on Michael Penix. That doesn't change. I think there's 3 first round caliber quarterbacks. Schmitty named the first 3. He'll go in the first round, but this game, in my opinion, it doesn't affect anything. And give Penix credit. He beat a really good Oregon team this year twice. Really good Oregon team.
Fair enough. All right. Now, listen, the 15-0 season, not many teams have been able to run the table with any blemishes whatsoever on their record. When we look at this Michigan team, we're going to compare them against the best of the best, the greats. Kev, I know you're a guy from the U. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Smitty, Russ, Jordan. I'm going to lead off with this one. I'm just going to get it out of the way. I don't believe, and this is my question: do you guys believe that Michigan is is the best of all time?
No.
I think it's an obvious no. I don't think there's really much to say. They didn't even have a single 1,000-yard receiver on their football team this year, which is amazing, very amazing, actually. Even in the last 5 years, I don't think they were the best national championship team. I'd like that team from LSU 2019, led by Joe Burr, Jamar Chase,
Justin Jefferson.
2 of the greats in the NFL right now are on that football team. 3 possible future Hall of Famers. We'll see how Joe Burr can stay on the field or not. But I do like that 19 LSU team. If I had to go to a blast from the past, that's where I'm going to go. Jordan, who would you go with?
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I think, to me, Michigan's undefeated championship team this year, it's just another championship team. I don't really think that there was anything too special to their game besides the fact that they really just didn't have a lot of weaknesses. But I think this could speak for itself right here. I just think.
Oh my guy!
The 2019
Big LSU fan.
Okay. 2019, the Dogs, the Tigers. They to me are probably top 3 in all of college football teams. You have Joe Burrow, who went number 1. You have Justin Jefferson, who just missed 7 games in the regular season and still hit 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
You got Jamar Chase.
Awesome.
You got crazy defense, crazy O-line. Like that, Michigan would get wiped like a mop with the 2019 LSU team.
Oh,
Raymond, you just threw him an alley-oop. He actually made his mama bring him down to LSU and do a tour.
you know, the best part about it is I didn't know he was going to go LSU on that one. And I went to him first.
Yeah.
Because I know where Kev's going to go. I figure I'll let him smash the table towards the end with his. Smitty, what do you like? Who do you think?
I gave you my take. I think Kev is going to say the same thing. I'm going to go with the 0-1 Miami Hurricanes. That team was explosive. I mean, I'm going to just give the alley-oop to Kev to finish it off. That's just my opinion. They had so many players on that team, defense, the offense. I don't know exactly the details, so I'm going to set it off for Kevin to finish that off.
So here's the thing. I've gone through this with a lot of people, and I take my fandom aside. The reason that I disagree is because the LSU offensive line was good for a college offensive line. Are they blocking Vince Wilfork? I don't know. I don't think so. If you look at the pure depth of the Miami Hurricanes team in 01, it's staggering to think about the guys that didn't play. Sean Taylor, Antrell Roll, Frank Gore. I mean, they were loaded. And you're talking about all those. They had over 30 first-round picks on that team. Over 30.
Was Santana Moss on that team? Was that
no, he was not.
Moss?
No, he just that was 2000. But and they had Reggie Wayne too. Here's the deal. I think Miami had obviously it's clear to me Joe Burrow is the best quarterback out of him and Dorsey. But Dorsey was a smart quarterback that made good decisions and got the ball to his playmakers. Jeremy Shockey, Kellen Winslow, Andre Johnson, Bryant McKinney, Joaquin Gonzalez, Chris Myers played in the NFL. That's just a few. Go to the running backs: Willis McGahee, Frank Gore, Clinton Portis. I mean, we're not even going over to the defensive side that had Ed Reed, and they did have Sean Taylor, and they had James Lewis and Philip Buchanan and Mike Rum.
Jonathan Vilma.
Chris Campbell would have been drafted if he didn't unfortunately pass away in a car accident. DJ Williams, McDougal and Williams were drafted. They weren't great pros, but the only lineman still in the NFL from LSU is Sadiq Charles for the Commanders, and he's part of one of the worst offensive lines in history. So I look at how they match up because LSU is clearly a dynamic team, but I like the way Miami matches up and just again the pure depth and talent on the first and second string. And the guys that redshirted, to me, I just think they'd beat them. But, it's not a bad pick to pick LSU. And when you have Joe Burrow and, you have Marshall and you have all those weapons they had. I mean, Thaddeus Moss was a terrific college tight end. Edwards-Helaire, terrific running back in college. Very tough to tackle. I can understand.
And, you got to remember, too, it's the greatest offense that's ever set a foot on a college football field, as far as statistically speaking. So, that definitely holds some weight, right? Yeah, no, for sure. Russ, where would you go on this?
Well, Ray, here's the problem: is me trying to go with LSU and side with Jordan would be like me siding with you on the Red Sox. I can't do it. Can't.
So you're going to pick a different team.
I got to do it. So it would probably be Miami or what was it? The 94 was it Penn
Huskers?
State? Oh. No, Penn State
Huskers
with Kerry Collins and the Kijana Carter.
Yep, loved them. Just
Kerry Collins.
Did they win a national title though?
Nah, I don't recall. Yes. No, I don't think so.
Yes, they did.
Nah.
Did they?
94? Yeah.
Penn State, 94? I thought that was the Cornhuskers.
They, you know what? Maybe Penn State snuck it in there. I don't think so, but
Penn State snuck it
I'm sure. Russ, did you look that up?
It would be LSU. I just can't. It just hurts me. That's all. It hurts me.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well, just get over it, bro. Everything's gonna be fine. We're all good here. It's all right.
Hold on.
I'm just glad I said it first, to be honest.
Hold on, Ray. I got to put him on the spot and make him say it. Come on, say Joe Burrow.
Me?
Yeah, say it.
What about Joe Burrow? What about the greatest quarterback ever walk on this earth?
When you're talking to me on the phone, how do you say Joe Burrow?
Yeah, buddy. I like
Joe
it.
Shiesty,
Okay.
the
All right.
GOAT.
Okay. The guy with the big coat, the fur coat. All right, so
Yes,
listen,
All
sir.
right.
that pretty much wraps it up. 0-1 Hurricanes, 19 Tigers. You guys can figure it out. If you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, questions, or you can think of a better team, drop it over there in those comments. But now Jim Harbaugh, should I go or should I stay? Huge questions going on right now out in Ann Arbor, whether or not the guy is going to stay or not. So did he cheat? I don't know. Is it time to go? That's what Pete Carroll did. What do you guys think?
That's a good one.
The same thing. What did he do to USC? Won a natty and said, oh, I'm going to go coach the NFL. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to be so obviously bad at cheating that my star player is going to lose his Heisman Trophy. So, yikes. That's pretty much how that one goes.
They cheated bad back then. Bad.
So here's the question. Speaking of losing a trophy, is Michigan going to get ripped of this national championship trophy? Smitty, what do you think?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I mean, there could be some discipline that is issued, but I don't see them stripping them from that trophy.
Bad look.
But I could be wrong.
Could be a bad look. Kev, what do you think?
Yes.
Life's not fair, and neither is the NCAA. I think it'll stand. I think they will destroy Harbaugh. And I think that's why he's going to go. I think he'd like to stay there, but at the same time, there's only a downhill spiral at a job like that. Like what else is he going to do? I just feel like with the I think we could all agree there's going to be some kind of a penalty, right?
Russ, what do you think?
So, well, I mean, two things. I mean, first of all, with Harbaugh, right? Like, does he know that something's coming or not coming? Does the school know something's coming? And
Yes.
well, if so, why are they offering him $125 million extension? To all he has to do is say he's not going to talk to the NFL for another year.
Mm-hmm.
So do they want him to stay just to take the punishment and be done with it? The other part of it is, as far as like the national championship, does it matter? We all watch the game. We know who won. That's never
agree
going
with
to
you.
go away. 2017, the Houston Astros cheated in a World Series. Take it away from them. Is anyone going to know that they didn't win in 2017?
No.
So that's it. You could put an asterisk next to it. And like Kev Mike was saying, listen, all right, they were cheating. Now you go out and find every college that was cheating, because they're not the only one.
No.
There's no way in God's green earth, with the amount of money being thrown around in college sports, that there's not other people doing stuff. So A, I don't think it matters. B, what does Harbaugh want to do? Is he sick of getting dumped on by the NCAA? So, hey, let's go take a trip to the NFL. Or does Michigan have his back enough to say, hey, yeah, here's that $125 million?
Hey, here's a question
Go ahead,
for
Smitty.
you guys. So, how much money is he being offered at Michigan? Is it 125 million?
So,
I believe I read a report.
So the way I read that report, Smitty, was they were going to give him $125 million extension.
Yep.
But he had to agree not to talk to any NFL teams until after next year.
Which is weird anyway.
Gotcha.
But Kev, that's what I'm saying. So what my thought is as far as like school and money wise, are they saying, hey, no, we don't want you to escape to the NFL. Stay here and take all this shit. We'll give you the freaking 25 million, and then you go away.
No, I think they are trying to entice him to stay, because even if there's some kind of penalty, they feel like he can get them out of it in time. I just think he's accomplished everything that he could accomplish. And I think he has an itch to get back to the NFL. That's my opinion. I think that it absolutely factors in all the stuff with the NCAA. But I mean, last night, like, he didn't say, no, I'm staying here. He said, can I just enjoy this? Can I have a moment? And I just feel like it's time. I think, again, he accomplished everything. I think there's some good jobs out there. I just think he has also an itch to get back to the NFL.
What does he have for family?
Family?
Kids, what? Yeah, kids, wife. Like where?
No, I mean he's got a wife, but he's it's a house full of coaches. His
What would
father was
he?
a coach.
What is he going to get paid in the NFL?
Probably a lot, don't you think?
Like
Right?
what's a lot though? 120, $25 million a year?
Yeah, I mean it's the NFL. I don't think that I mean I don't think money's even an issue for him. I really don't. I think it's like getting back to the NFL like his brother and competing. And I think the Chargers would be a great spot because he already has a quarterback and a left tackle. But they're talking about there's so many rumors. I think I've read 5 different reports of where Harbaugh is going to go. Just like we keep reading multiple reports about where Belichick's going to go. And again, I'll just sum it up quickly. I just think he has an itch to get to the NFL, and the NCAA stuff and all that stuff I think is affecting him. So that's what I think he's going to do.
Russ, to answer your
How about-
question, he has 4 kids, 2 daughters, 2 sons. The ages I do not know, but he's got a family. So,
Well, what do you guys think about him going to Vegas?
I'm not a fan of that.
He's got to find a
I
quarterback.
mean, the thing with Las Vegas is that Antonio Pierce has stepped in and he has made everything better on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Major improvement, winning record.
He's going to the Giants, DC.
Pierce, that's wishful
I hope,
thinking.
I hope,
It's
I
wishful.
hope so.
How
I
does
hope
wishful
so.
thinking. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, and then I'll hear more. But if the Raiders don't sign Antonio Pierce, you're going to have a lot of pissed off fans. A lot. I don't think they're going to, throw their team under the bus and not stop liking them, but there's going to be a lot of pissed off Raiders fans, especially if they suck again, because Josh McDaniels was supposed to be a good hire, and it turned out to be what we thought it was going to be.
He's a brutal head coach, though.
He's terrible.
It's terrible.
He's terrible. Jordan, you have any insight on this? You've been a little silent over there. We got to get you in here.
No, I mean, if we're talking about Harbaugh, I think he definitely like Kev said, he's itching to get into the NFL. There's a lot of spots that have opened up recently. There's Washington that opened up. I believe Tennessee's coaching job opened up this morning.
Yep.
So like there's just a lot of opportunities. So I feel like he's just like, you know what, NCAA, watch this. I'm gonna be successful without you. Like I don't need a college to be successful. I can do it with grown men. So
Yep.
Yo, real quick, shout out to Randy. Thanks for joining us, Randy. Glad to see you too. He says the Raiders never made the interim coach the head coach. That's a solid point right there.
Yeah, well, it's time for a change. It's time for a change. The thing about Harbaugh is that he's been successful in the NFL. He brought the Niners to an NFC championship.
Run to a Super Bowl.
To the Super Bowl, I'm sorry, with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
So can Harbaugh coach? Yeah, I think his overall NFL coaching record, he's 44-19. It's pretty good. So you're gonna get a good coach if Harbaugh does decide to flee the NCAA.
You know what? In my opinion, real quick, I don't see him leaving the West Coast. I see him staying over on the West Coast. That's just my opinion. I know he's got, Chargers. He played for the Chargers a long time ago. So, that's a good fit, like Kev said. And I don't know. I wouldn't pass the Vegas Raiders over that. I think there was a report that I read this morning that what's that guy's name? Chucky. He's thinking about coming back to coach too. So
John Gruden,
but not the Raiders though. Not the Raiders.
Chucky.
I thought it was the
Saints, right? Yeah,
Saints.
New Orleans. Yeah, coming back as like
Chucky Gruden, historically 1 game over 500. Yeah, take him.
He brought 2 teams to the Super Bowl though, didn't he?
Yeah, 1 game over 500. How'd that work out for him? Great job.
He got a Super Bowl.
But listen, on top of what Randy was saying, if Pierce doesn't end up in Vegas, does he end up as a head coach somewhere?
It's a good question.
I definitely think so. And going back on Harbaugh, I was just thinking of this now. If Harbaugh does land on an NFL team, maybe if they have a bad quarterback situation, do you think that he tries to get McCarthy back?
I hope not.
No.
If he coaches my team, no, I don't want him.
Kev,
I don't.
So we're going all over the place now. It's a coaching carousel. It's a
Yeah.
coaching carousel. The latest, obviously, your boy Ron Rivera. See you later.
Riverboat Ron. I would like him as a DC.
Smitty brought up earlier about Ray being a quarterback. At this point, the Patriots would take Ray, or should.
Oh, man, I used to light it up in the flag football league in Preston. Let me tell you, got chips for days, rings, Russell.
I love it.
Preston.
But,
what do you?
but
Yeah,
more,
go ahead.
more serious. No, obviously, Mike Vrabel. See you
Yeah.
later. So here come all of the speculation now. Expatriate
Yep.
is Bill, right? We'll jump right into Bill now, and then we'll kind of go back and forth whether or not is it going to be time for Mike? I don't know.
Bill Belichick.
Listen, Belichick right now is handling business as usual.
Yep.
Nothing has changed from Bill in New England. All we hear is all the grumblings from EEI and every other sour Patriot fan that wants him to go because we're 4-13.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think on the speculation of Bill leaving and Vrabel replacing him? Jordan.
I simply just I don't see it happening. I think that the Patriots they've been with Belichick through thick and thin. Obviously, this year went 4-13, the worst record in the AFC, but they also had him as a coach when they won like all their Super Bowls. So I just don't see him as the problem. I think that it was mainly just issues with, you had a terrible quarterback situation. Mac Jones just did not get it done. And when you had Bailey Zappi, he couldn't get it done either. Defensively, it didn't really go as planned. You had a promising DB with Christian Gonzalez, and he went down, and he was really the centerpiece of your defense from the start. So I don't think that Belichick is the issue. I think that it was more of a player issue.
Russell.
Ray, you know that I am a Patriots fan and not a Bill Belichick fan, but if Belichick had a quarterback and maybe one or two more good pieces to the offensive line, how much better would they have been?
Well, yeah, much better.
Right. So, again, we don't know all the workings of the inside. I think it's been pretty clear that Mac was not his guy and that was being forced down his throat. And,
What about Zappi?
I always did with Smitty. My thing with Zappi was I always cheered for Zappi, and I had no problem going to Zappi instead of Mac. And my reason for that was there wasn't a drop off. So why are we investing 3 seasons in Mac Jones if the guy sitting on the sidelines isn't much less or more than you are? The guy on the sidelines, obviously you were seeing ghost and throwing to the defense. So if the guy on the sidelines is about equal, why not play him? But I'm saying if you actually had a legitimate quarterback and fix that offensive line, look at Daniel Jones, and that was one of the questions. Daniel Jones, you can only get your ass kicked in the backfield so long.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter now. And I'm not, and I believe that he's good. Jordan's already yelled at me for comparing his numbers to Joe Montana. But Brock Purdy, for the most part, doesn't get beat up, right? They take care of him. There's a big difference in his comfort in the pocket and what New England has.
right.
I'm with Jordan on that one, though.
The Niners are loaded. By the way, just to, and we were going back and forth in the group text, right, Kev? And I was playing my part and being the devil. And at the end of the day, Brock Purdy has the best season the 49ers have ever experienced from a quarterback position in a single season, with the best players the 49ers have ever had in a single season, in multiple positions. They've never had more than 2,000-yard receivers. They had 3 this year. So, and another guy that did CMC catch for over 1,000 yards this season? Probably not. Pretty close though. So
I think it was pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, but so Purdy had pretty much everything he needed to do what he did, and obviously he was a very successful in doing that.
We can't read the future there, Raymond, but I believe in the first 42 games he has better numbers than Joe Montana.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Russ. I'm actually agreeing with you. And this year he balled out, man. He had the best season.
I sent those stats to Jordan, and he texted me back and told me never to put Joe Montana's name in a sentence with Brock.
Well,
He's right.
100%.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the statistics, Purdy ranked second this year in passing yards. He ranked dead last in all starters with passing attempts.
Mhm.
So it's not like it was really him. It was his playmakers doing the job. And I understand that he's the
Absolutely.
one giving them the ball, and he's an accurate quarterback. It's not like he's terrible. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but you can't compare him to Joe Montana when it comes to that.
I agree with that, and also, listen, he's a good manager of the team. I'm not saying he's a game manager, but I'm saying he's a good quarterback. He knows what he needs to do. He's coached by Kyle Shanahan, who really knows quarterbacks very well, and he makes the right decisions. He does his job. But Joe Montana was a complete. I don't care about stats. The eye test tells you a lot too. Joe Montana was just different. And that's not a knock on Brock Purdy, but listen, they do the job. He does the job. He gets the ball to his playmakers.
Kevin, that's what I'm talking about when it, rolling back to New England and Belichick. If they can just have a quarterback, and me and Ray battle about it all the time, even with Tom Brady. Initially, the first 3 Super Bowls or whatever, what did Tom Brady do? He just didn't screw it up.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
So if New England could get a lineman or two, a nice tackle, that can stay healthy or whatever, and just don't screw it up. The defense isn't giving up a bunch of anything. So just don't screw it up.
2 quick points, Russ. One, there comes a time where an organization needs a change, even though Belichick's the GOAT. Okay. There comes a time where and so I disagree on the Vrabel thing. I think Vrabel's a good coach, but I just wonder if Robert Kraft wants to go in a completely different direction and not recycle the Belichick tree, which hasn't been too successful. The other thing is let's be honest. Belichick picked the players. Like, it's not like a general manager picked the players and Belichick went and coached them up. Bill picked all these players. Bill picked the quarterback.
You think he picked Mac?
Oh, yeah.
You don't think that was a crap thing?
No, not at all. I think Belichick's free and he has been free, and he's done well in the draft, and sometimes he's missed in the draft. But the Patriots need more than just this and that. They need a quarterback. They need multiple offensive linemen, and they need weapons. So they really need to – it's going to take 2 years for them to fix the offense. At pick 3, they have an opportunity to start getting that quarterback. Usually I have a pretty good sense on where these coaches are going. I have no idea if Belichick's going, where he's going to go, where Harbaugh is going to go. There's a lot of good jobs out there right now, and I don't have a sense. I really don't. I think these guys could go anywhere, to be honest with you.
So I think you were kind of saying, and it's kind of my sentiment also, if Kraft gets rid of Belichick,
yes,
all of Belichick is gone. One of his disciples are not coming in. I think if they're going to go in a different direction, it ain't Vrabel. It ain't none of them. It
ain't Bill O'Brien. It ain't Josh McDaniels.
Yes.
Right.
If they're going to start over, it's something new.
I agree.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving now. That pretty much wraps up our Belichick and Vrabel conversation. Moving forward a little bit more, guys. We're going to skip over to the college. Let's jump into the NFL. More of the NFL, particularly the NFL playoffs. We did a little thing in our group chat today. We did a playoff picture. We did a bracket. And we want to share it. Let's start with the young buck first. Jordan. You got your bracket.
Yep.
Tell us who you like.
Yeah, so for this year's Super Bowl, I got the champs being the Baltimore Ravens. Going back to the draft, obviously a couple years back, but when Lamar Jackson got drafted, one of the first words he said was, "They're gonna get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that," and I believe that 100%. He's favored to win the MVP. He can do just about everything. People said that he was a running back. He's throwing dots left and right now. Now he's got a real weapon with Zay Flowers. Although he's young, I think he's a really good weapon. Their defense is very good. They got a very good defense this year. And I have them in my bracket going against the San Francisco 49ers. Going back to what we said earlier about Purdy getting the job done, I believe the 49ers and Ravens played earlier this year, and Purdy, although I believe he did get hurt off of his second stinger of the year, he had 4 interceptions against the Ravens. So clearly, like, the eye test shows that he can't get the job done against Baltimore.
Was that the game that CMC was out too?
No, I believe I thought CMC had played. Did he not?
Yeah, he played.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, he played. That game was in week 15 or 16.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
That's kind of where the MVP got solidified, I think.
Yes, it was 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Lamar balled out. He threw for 5 touchdown passes that game, and he rushed for another, I think, 70 or 80 yards, threw for 300 plus yards. Lamar Jackson went crazy against the 49ers in San Francisco. That was not even a road game. That was that was a road game for the Ravens. So yeah, that was a big showing from the 49er for the Baltimore Ravens that game for sure. Kevin, who do you got, bro?
You might as well go to me because I have the exact same pick and the exact same Super Bowl as Jordan. So, and for all the reasons he said. So, get down. Yeah, pretty simple with me.
Pretty simple. Smitty, what do you like?
You know who I'm going with. I'm going to the West Coast 49ers, baby. 49ers against your Baltimore Ravens. 49ers 31, Baltimore 21. It ain't going to be the same. It ain't going to be the same.
It's not. It's hard to beat it. I think it's fair to say it's hard to beat a team twice, no? By the way, what's up, Scott? What's up, Scott? What's going on, man? Scott's got his pool in here too. He's got his little bracket in here. I got to pull that one up. Russell, who do you like?
So first of all, I want to talk about the Baltimore Ravens for a hot second. And this may sound odd, but does anyone else feel like they grew exponentially as a team after Andrews went down? Almost like they had to explore other options, and they got better. Not that they're a better team without Andrews, but they explored things that they may not have if he was playing. However, I don't like that they have 2 weeks off going in because I think they were rolling. And even though they get to maybe repair some of the little dings, I'm finishing off with the Buffalo Bills and San Francisco, and the Buffalo Bills taking it home.
Okay.
Now, why might I be that extravagant about it? So I think the Bills have put in the time and the work and have been there and have been growing. And I think that if you go from the beginning of the year to now, they're rolling. They're kind of that team that's got it. Beginning of the year, the Eagles and Dallas were rolling, and then they kind of fell off the cliff. The other side of it is the Bills are on a roll. I think if it comes to the Bills and the Niners, that Purdy being young could be too big for him at this moment.
I like that, Russ. I think it makes a lot of sense, actually. If you go back to the beginning of the year, like you said, teams are rolling and some were not. Obviously, that was Buffalo. But before the season started, Buffalo was one of the top picks in the NFL from all the analysts that, if they had to pick a team from the AFC, Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Baltimore was still in there. But they were the biggest disappointment, and they definitely have not disappointed as of late, obviously coming back and winning the division.
And one other thing, Ray, and I don't want to jinx him, and I hope it doesn't happen, but it's been a long time since Lamar Jackson's gone a full season without getting hurt, and he hasn't been hurt yet.
Well, what do you mean? Yeah, that's a complete jinx. What are you talking about? You're not trying to jinx.
I'm not trying. I mean, I don't. But I'm just saying he hasn't been hurt yet.
And I just read something.
Wait, hold up. Last year, wasn't he hurt? Lamar
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Yeah, this year he's been. You know what, Smitty? I just noticed you got a pirate hat on too. What's going on over there, man?
I like the
Yo,
glass,
man.
dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
You got a new mic.
That's for my eyes, man.
You
The
got a new-
Pirates?
You got a new mic.
Yes, sir. You're very observant.
Let me tell
you're
you
very
something.
observant.
I noticed it right away, but I just brought it up. That thing sounds crispy, man.
Yeah.
It sounds good. It sounds
I had
good.
to put this on layaway, kid. You know
Oh,
I'm on a
shoot.
fixed income.
Did you
know
go
what I
with the
mean?
shirt? Did you go with the shirt SM7B? What do you got going on there, my guy?
I
Smitty.
got a little something. I'm not gonna give it away.
Smitty, all you gotta do is buy it on the 2nd of the month. That's all. That's all you gotta do.
That's what I gotta
Sweet.
do. That's what I
And
gotta
these guys are
do.
going to go around that pension talk. Oh, God, talking about the pension talk. Here we go. Couple retirees. All right, let me tell you what I'm not going to retire doing. I am not going to retire anytime soon by making picks. So with that being said, I'm going to give you my picks, my Super Bowl prediction, and this one is a doozy. I've got the Browns and I've got the Rams. Matt Stafford is Matt Stafford. The guy can ball. He lost Cooper Kupp for a few games. Here comes Puka Nakua. Obviously set 2 offensive rookie records this year for receptions and yards. And then you have Kyron Williams, who missed a few games and is putting up Christian McCaffrey-like numbers. Still got Aaron Donald over on that defense. The Rams were just there a couple years ago. Matt Stafford, he's a quarterback that knows how to play. He can throw, obviously. And on the other side, I got the Browns. Why? That's the year of Joe Flacco. What else can I say about that? I feel like Joe Flacco has stepped in. He has made Deshaun Watson look like the worst decision anyone's ever made, up to including answering the phone to pencil him in for his next massage appointment. So with that being said, I'm taking the Rams to win the whole thing. I got the Rams 31-17. And that's how we're going to go. So
Ray Bones, before you think that you're so far off the charts, I have the LA Rams playing San Francisco in the NFC Championship.
Wow.
I like it. I like it. You know what? It looks like I have the Cowboys and the Rams.
That's a rating, not an emblem. The 1 star.
Oh yeah. Well, I got the Cowboys getting past the Eagles. I got the Bills getting past the Chiefs. Obviously, the Bills beat the Steelers. Chiefs beat the Finns. The Browns beat the Texans. Then the Browns beat the Ravens. And that's the thing too.
Green Bay is knocking Dallas out.
And well, you know what? I don't think so. I think we said
Russ, is that what you have in your on your bracket?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, me too.
Does anybody?
Why? Because they're rolling. They're rolling.
Yeah, Green Bay's playing some good football.
The youngest, Jordan, what did I say the other day? Since 97?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the
youngest postseason roster since 97. They don't know no better, and they're playing good. They're rolling.
I think one thing that you got to roll with is the fact that Dallas is a very, very good football team at home. I know they have a hard time in the playoffs, but they have the pieces, and I don't think Green Bay has the defense to slow down Dak and CD and Pollard and Jesus, Brandon Cooks, right? The guy was how old is that guy?
I'm gonna mix 2 sports. I envision. I see the Dallas Cowboys like Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton bats 700 when the Yankees are up by 4.
Fair enough. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. We are going to, and just so we are going to post all of our playoff picks on their page, and hopefully we'll leave a blank one on there. You guys can screenshot, and if you could send it in, post it on our page too, that'd be really cool. Then at the end of the season, maybe we can give away a Hook sweatshirt. So a Hook hoodie's on the line if you can clear the bet, if you can put together the best bracket. How's that sound, guys?
Sounds
That's
great, but I want one.
You want
Russ,
one?
is Jordan all right?
I will rock.
I don't know what he's doing over there.
He's spinning. He's spinning.
Listen, he's one of those old lime kids, coming from the money, but they ain't got the good internet, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that Super Bowl, the Lions versus Texans.
It could happen.
That would be interesting right there.
Yeah, I'm sure Roger Goodell would love that.
Right? Yeah, but why, Kev? Why?
because you know how Roger Goodell is. He'd love the Rams in it. He'd love the Cowboys and the Bills or something like that. He don't want those teams. There he
Yeah,
is.
he's a business.
Hey,
He's a
I've been
business.
through this.
Shady's
Green is
back.
terrible.
Shady's
Green is
back.
terrible.
Back again.
Hey, it's real bad rain. He's probably going to have school canceled tomorrow.
Are you
Oh,
kidding?
no.
Try not.
What a world.
My school doesn't do that.
So we're already on we're on early release tomorrow. We're on early release tomorrow, expecting some snow up here in the northeast of Connecticut. Or I guess is it not really the
rain.
northeast?
I thought it was
Southeast.
rain.
It's really southeast Connecticut. Apologize. I'm in the
Right.
middle.
Around here, it's just like terrible rain, terrible winds, but we haven't had any snowfall yet.
Well, that's the money town. You guys down there on that shoreline. You guys pay to have your roads heated and stuff, so you don't get snow.
Yeah, well, I don't. So
You order the weather.
I don't either.
You and Kev are neighbors down there in the good country.
Oh my
So,
God.
I just want to answer this quick about Randy's question. Is Daniel Jones going to be the Giants quarterback next year? As a Giants fan, I believe so. I think they have like constructed his contract. If he, for some weird reason, he's got like a 2 years or something like that. You guys know more about that than I do. 2 years. If for some reason things don't add up, he's out, and they can go ahead and work on another quarterback. But I believe that DJ will be the Giants quarterback next year.
That's terrible for Giants.
I
fans.
don't.
My-
Okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
What you got? What you got? What's your opinion? I want to hear it.
Giants are going to draft a quarterback, and I think they're going to be aggressive in trying to move up to get a quarterback because
Who do you think? Who do you think they'll draft?
gosh, I can see Jaden Daniels. I can see Jaden Daniels going to the Giants and being a beast because he can run and pass.
Now let me ask you this: if the Giants move up, right? Because I know that they traded Williams to Seattle, they got not first round picks, but more picks as
Right.
it is for them. Do you think that would be a good idea for the Giants to do that and draft a quarterback?
I think it's a hard thing because they have so many other holes, and listen, I think they played hard for Dayball. I think we can put that to bed. Anybody that says
Mhm.
is Dayball the guy? Because that team could have won 2 games. I mean, they could have quit and they didn't quit.
Yeah,
But I
you're
do
right.
think they'll either sit at 6, and hope somebody falls, or I think they'll try to move up if it's for the right price. But I think the Giants are going to have a quarterback. Sam Howell will potentially be the quarterback. I'm just commenting down on below for the X factor here. I think that we will absolutely draft a quarterback at 2, and I do believe he will start the season as the quarterback.
Mm.
My opinion.
Okay.
With the Patriots, so the Patriots should pick up Harrison and a tackle or two and try to pick up Jones, maybe.
Well, they could go over. And listen, when we do the draft stuff, when we're closer, I'll give you what I really think. I need to know who the coach is first.
Well, you know who the Giants should give a shot is Mac Jones. That would be.
No, they're not playing that game. They're
Well,
gonna.
you staying with the Joneses. You'll be all right.
I think. And listen, the thing is after Mac.
No,
Jones,
no, thank you.
2 years ago, 2 years ago, Daniel Jones you talk about a guy that didn't screw things up and kind of just went through and did his thing. I was so high on him after that year. I really thought things were going to be on the up for him. I thought he was going to take another step this year. And I know the schedule. I know Ray and I went back and forth. It was fun to break stones and stuff, but they had a tougher schedule. And then they just had guys that played really well the year before just have bad years. And then, I mean, their offensive line I thought was actually going to be better, and it was worse. And so
Evan Neal's a huge disappointment.
Is
I think
Saquon
that-
getting franchised again?
No, I think he's going to be a free agent. Watch Buffalo there.
Saquon.
And also, Ray, watch Buffalo for Derrick Henry.
Why would you? I could see the King going to Buffalo before Saquon. I think Saquon's going to be too much money, and you have an elite back. Elite. I'm calling James Cook an elite back in the NFL.
Oh, he is. I loved him coming out of Georgia, Ray, but I think having Henry as like that thunder and lightning kind of piece would be really, really, really big for Josh Allen and protect his legs. And I know we're veering off, but
if they put Henry in that backfield, dude, there is no layoff. What do? They're gonna run it in your mouth, or he's gonna launch it to Diggs or his tight ends.
Right.
I think
Right.
Henry's
What
a
I'm-
spell back. He's a
Right.
spell back. That's all Henry will be.
And
He's
that's
not gonna
okay.
be-
That's okay.
Yeah. We'll see with that. Listen, we got a couple minutes left here. We are cranking through this. All right. We got a couple minutes. I want to touch on who you guys think the rookie of the year is this year. NFL rookie of the year. I think it's between two guys. We'll go around the horn. Puka Nacua, CJ Stroud. Smitty, why don't you start this one?
I'm gonna go with CJ Stroud, Houston Texans. And the reason being is because Jordan, I know Jordan's got the numbers right there, the stats as far as the yardage, the touchdowns, the interceptions, and the rating, the quarterback rating that this kid showed. He went into an organization that was rock bottom. I don't know exactly their record last year.
They were
But
a
they're
mess.
in the playoffs. They were like 3-10, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Did he have weapons? Absolutely. He's got some good receiving core. However, he's a leader. The kid's proven that he's a leader. It's his first year in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he's taking a franchise to the playoffs. I believe in that kid. I also believe that they're going to be the Cleveland Browns in the first round. So CJ Stroud.
Whoa, that'll kill my Super Bowl prediction right there. Yowza. Woo. All right, Russell.
Yeah, I'm CJ Stroud. The Puka Nacua. I mean, maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks, if you narrowed it down to that. But as far as the season and who's carried it, Stroud has had them on his shoulders and has definitely blazed the path to that award without a doubt.
Okay. Kevin.
I love Puka. I think he's terrific, but CJ Stroud has brought stability. Him and D'Amico Ryans have brought stability to an organization that was really a mess after the Deshaun Watson fiasco, after trading DeAndre Hopkins, Bill O'Brien, all that stuff. CJ Stroud was the most accurate passer that I evaluated over the last 15 years. I loved him coming out. I'm so impressed with his ability to throw the deep ball. They've got a real stud over there in Houston, and he's my rookie of the year.
Okay. All right, Jordan, tell him why Puka's the rookie of the year.
I mean, as much as I want to say it, I think I do really have to go with CJ Stroud.
My man. That's what I'm talking about.
My reason is, just like all of you guys have said, the Texans were really nothing before CJ Stroud got on here. I really couldn't remember. I think the last time they made the playoffs was when Deshaun Watson was there.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think that they knew that they had something special on their hands when they drafted him, and I think that he should have been number one.
He should have.
When you see I saw this little documentary piece on CJ Stroud, and he was the reason Tank Dell got drafted. The Texans trusted him enough, and they went with his word, and they drafted Tank Dell. And as you can see this season, before that injury, that connection is lethal.
Yeah.
And he's also got
It
Nico
is.
Collins, who's insane. They just picked up Dalton Schultz. They actually have a pretty good they actually have a pretty good O-line this year, and their defense has stepped that up as well. I was very surprised that they got how far they did. And even though Puka has all these records, I'm pretty sure CJ Stroud did too. And I know a wide receiver won it last year, but the competition last year for Rookie of the Year with Garrett Wilson was only Purdy, and Purdy only played a handful of games.
Right.
You gave Stroud a full season this year, and he proved it. He had, 4,108 yards, which was ranked 8th in the NFL.
Yep.
23 touchdowns, which was tied for 13th, and he only had 5 interceptions.
Accurate.
So he's an accurate quarterback. He threw 63.9%. So, as much as I would love to say Puka, who was ranked top 10 in receptions and top 5 in receiving yards, I would have to go with CJ Stroud.
All right, so you guys roll on CJ Stroud, so that means I'm gonna go with Puka Nacua. And my reasoning B, and Russell, you said besides the last few weeks of the season, I gotta disagree with you, man. Week 1 and week 2. Well, week 1, Puka had 15 catches for 147 yards, followed up by week 3 with 9 catches for 163 yards. Week 7, he had 8 for 154 against Cleveland. In week 13, he had 4 for 105.
So what happened in weeks 2, 5, and 6, and all the other ones up to 13? Just wondering. Asking for a friend.
All right, so in I'm sorry, in week 2, he had 15 catches for 147 yards, followed up by a 5-catch, 72-yard. He's only had actually 3 bad games all year.
He's
3 bad
definitely an
games
explosive player. He's definitely an
He got
explosive player.
peppered. He got peppered in targets. He was looked at, peppered in targets for a rookie. Like, I don't even know what the total number of targets is here, but I can tell you this. The least amount of targets a rookie had in a game all season long was 6. And that was the last week of the NFL season. He only had 6 targets. That's insane. That stat alone just shows you on how much that they put into this rookie wide receiver to make up, to catch the ball and come up with big plays. And he balled out.
Yeah,
He
dude,
balled
that's-
out.
Since when is 5 catches for 70+ yards a bad game? It just means he didn't go off.
And
Right,
that's
right.
it's a good game. It's a good
Yeah.
game. No,
Nah,
I'm saying
I
he had 4 bad games. He had 2 games under 1, 2. He had 2 games under 30 yards receiving.
Okay.
2 games. Every other game, he's over 30 yards. And he has
Yeah.
5 games over 140 yards receiving.
He's insane.
He definitely.
Are you willing to bet around the golf on the rookie of the year?
I'm not doing that. No.
All right, okay, thank you.
you,
But,
you know what, Ray? I mean,
Hold on,
I
wait,
agree
though.
with you
If
100%.
you guys are all on the same board, like I'm not gonna just I'm gonna
No,
I'm
no,
the
I
devil.
know. I just wanted to know where your heart really was. That's all. I get the argument.
Yeah, no, that's my argument. Will it happen? Probably not, because quarterbacks win everything. That's just
They
how
really
it goes.
do. Yeah.
And that,
They do. They win everything.
and that was the other
Yeah,
part that I was going to say, Ray. It's always going to come down to like listen, CMC probably had a legitimate chance until Baltimore beat San Francisco also.
Yeah.
And Lamar's been great all year. Lamar, listen. he's been
Correct.
great.
But if a player was going to win it, San Francisco would have
Yes.
had to have beaten Baltimore.
Yeah. CMC would have won it. He's the most valuable player on the 49ers. I
Yeah.
would say I would put Debo before Purdy. I'd put them both before Purdy, to be honest, because he's played without him, and they didn't do very good without those guys on the field.
I don't know if you
definitely.
guys seen it or not either, but TJ Watt is out.
I thought it was
Yeah,
like 2
I saw that.
That
yeah.
hurts. Yeah, it's MCL. It's
season.
a MCL sprain.
Really?
Rudolph, TJ Watt is Steelers rule out Watt, and Rudolph remains QB1.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's out for this week. I saw it was a 2-week injury, which is remarkable.
This week,
Right,
but they're
but he-
playing the Bills.
No, I know that.
Yeah, and
I know.
I thought the report that I read said that he was going to be in the boot for 2 weeks because
Okay.
it's like a MCL sprain, high sprain.
Huge loss.
So,
He's out until the Red Sox soccer season starts.
That's funny, Russ.
And when is that? When is that, Ray? When does it start?
All right, listen, before we wrap this up, Garrett Wilson has switched his number to the number 5. The punter, Morstead, is giving it up, which frees up number 17. Aaron Rodgers, quarterback for the New York Jets. Has he been recruiting? Number 17 from the Raiders, Davante Adams. Yes or no? Yes or no? Let's finish off on this. Kev.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Davante to the Jets.
I can see it.
Smitty?
I mean, the Jets, yeah, they probably go out after him, but will that make them winners? We shall see.
They need an O-line.
You sound like Bane right there from Batman, The Dark Knight, or whatever it's what it is. He had that little Bane thing going, man. I'm gonna have to pull that up somewhere. Not right now. Ross, what do you think?
Yeah, I believe that Davante Adams going to the Jets was already a thing when Rodgers was on his way there. He was trying to make that happen. And my personal opinion is I would fear the Jets if that happens, and not because Aaron Rodgers isn't the quarterback, but that defense with an offense that can put up a couple points.
Oh yeah,
That's huge with an offense, though.
Yes,
With an offense.
right.
tell
That defense, if you get an offense that can consistently put up 21 points, they're going to be
scary.
tough.
I mean,
There-
Brees Hall.
What pick do the Jets have? The 10th pick, right? I think.
I think they were around there, like the low teens.
But what do the and I don't know the draft for the linemen and all that, but like Kev was saying about their offensive line and protecting the quarterback, but what other needs do they have? If they can go out there and spend money on getting an offensive line,
That's it.
they could be in some good shape.
Yeah, but you can't get a tackle in free agency that's worth anything. Teams keep them. That's how valuable they are.
But
Yeah,
what about
you-
coming out of college?
You
They
could
got
fit,
the top 10 pick. They have a top 10 pick.
if Joe, I would love to see them get Joe Alt from Notre Dame, but he's gonna go before they pick.
Yeah.
You know,
What
there-
about the
there's-
kid from Penn State? There's a kid from Penn State too that's supposed to. Is he's a
he
tackle,
ain't
right?
gonna- I promise you, he ain't gonna fall there. He is unbelievably gifted.
But
Okay.
Kevin, I don't know him as well as you do, especially like that offensive line and stuff like that. But so they don't get the spectacular guy. You know what I mean? At what kind of linemen are coming? Can they build an offensive line off of the college kids?
Yeah, I mean, they could take a tackle at 10 or wherever they pick, and they can sign 2 guards or a guard. And I think that you get a left tackle that'll make Aaron Rodgers feel comfortable. You sign a really good guard. I understand like the whole notion of of Adams and down below somebody commented about Aaron Jones. I mean, they can't get everybody, but I think that first and foremost, and I said this before the season started, I was worried about protection. They can absolutely improve the offensive line, both in the draft and free agency.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there has been something since probably last offseason when Rodgers went to the Jets, talking about Devontae Adams moving there. But I mean, I do think that if he does go there, which I mean, after hearing all this news, I think all signs point to he goes to the Jets. I think if he moves there, that they're going to be a scary team. And I honestly, if they do what you guys say and they get a good O-line, I wouldn't be surprised if they go undefeated in the regular season. They have so many weapons now. You'll have Garrett Wilson, you'll have Devontae Adams, you'll still have Brees Hall,
Yep.
who for the time he had was pretty damn good.
He ran
He
for
had a
1,000 yards. Yeah.
Exactly.
great
You got
season
you still got Aaron Rodgers, who is never going to be a bad quarterback. He's just never going to be. He does all this witchcraft to make sure that he's on top of the table there. For
I guess
quarterback.
my question is when you mention Aaron Rodgers, can he stay healthy? You know what I mean? I understand all the witchcraft and all that stuff. Tom
It's
Brady
called-
stayed healthy. He went out high. You know what I mean? Greatest quarterback of all time. Aaron Rodgers, can he stay healthy? That is the question.
He can if he's protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it, Smitty. So
Right.
I think it's almost a blessing
That,
for
that
him.
goes for most quarterbacks, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no doubt.
Right, but again, even if you go back to your guy Daniel Jones, you can only get beat up so much. Like it's almost like a blessing he tore his ACL and didn't get his ass
Yes.
kicked all year.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
here, right.
And listen,
right,
everybody got their butt kicked.
Right. Just a note though, he makes a lot of money, Adams. There's a couple dudes they need to pay. One of them being Sauce Gardner in the future. So let's be careful about our cap space. I think we all say yes because we can see it happen, but that contract, I just thinking about it, you're risking, you're going to have Wilson and Sauce, and those dudes are going to want to get paid. So you got, and they're younger, and you can't not pay Sauce, and you can't irritate Wilson. So it's a factor. I don't know how they're going to fit it in. I don't know if he'll give back money, spread things out. We'll see what happens.
Well, do
And
you,
you know
think
what, Kev?
Adam? You go ahead. Go ahead.
Kev mentioned cap space. I think I read somewhere the Houston's going to have a lot of cap space coming up too. So their future is bright, man.
And Washington has
Texas
over
future
80
is bright.
million.
And
Yeah.
Is that
Kansas
right?
City, and if I'm not mistaken from the podcast, Kansas City just did something slick with Kelsey's contract too, to free up like $8 million.
Did they defer it?
You
Is the
can-
NFL
pay him
deferring
upfront.
contracts too?
I think they paid him up front to clear it off.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're doing that LA Dodger thing out there in Kansas City now, huh? It's
Jordan,
great.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just thinking about it. Do you guys think that there's any chance that there are some of those young guys on the Jets that would take a pay cut to win championships?
Absolutely not.
No?
I agree with you. Schmitty. At the end of the day, these guys are putting their bodies, their
Yeah.
livelihood, everything on the line. Getting paid is a huge deal. I
Well,
really don't. I can see some guys doing it, but the majority of these guys, Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson aren't leaving money on the table. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing with that too, Jordan, is you got to remember this isn't baseball or basketball.
Mhm.
These guys' window for making money is
Slim.
limited. There's not another contract
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, no chance. Listen, you got a guy like Marvin Harrison who could be number one off the board. And he's debating whether or not he wants to
Stay in school.
go to the pros or not.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be the number one pick off the board. You're the best player in college football.
The only player that got to play for less money was Tom Brady, and that's because his wife was a billionaire.
It's more than that, though. He was making so much money off the field himself, and he knew, to stay here year after year after year after year, which is crazy to even say out loud. He was going to have to try to spread things out.
But it was a lot easier to take the money he took and never fight for the big contract when
Right.
your wife is making more money than you are.
Yeah, but that's not even. He was making so much money off the field. It didn't even matter. I mean, he was making tons of money off the field. I get that, but he was doing well for himself. Is the point? So it was easier for him to sit back.
If he was on his own, there's no way he stayed in New England for 20 years and never took a big contract somewhere else. I don't believe that for a second without her.
Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with it, but we can agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree on that one. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Giselle, she did pretty good for herself too.
Are they back together?
Travis Kelce has Taylor Swift. And
So word on the
Eagles
street.
have DeAndre.
Let's check on the analytics.
Yeah.
Let's check on the
Randy.
analytics.
I want the analytics of how many times they show her during the game, Jordan.
Like
No,
more than they showed the football game.
No, is Tom
Oh,
is Tom Brady and Giselle back together?
I don't know.
It's the word on the brick.
I'll text her for you.
Yeah, text.
Hey,
Next
next show, Ray.
Edelman. Ask Edelman if they're back together.
I'll ask
Oh, my
Edelman
God.
for you.
Joe, what up?
what's up? What's up, Joe? What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. Probably getting up ready to wrap it up here pretty shortly. I told these guys an hour in the group message, and we're at an hour and 13, so we're not doing
Well,
too
listen,
bad.
Raymond, I do have one. Joe, you and Ray are closer than you think because his Red Sox own a hockey team. So you guys got a lot to talk about.
It's gonna be a thing, huh, Russ?
It's gonna be a thing, Raymond.
Mm.
It's gonna be a thing.
And I'm
Well, I
wearing
guess
I'm wearing long pants during the summer to golf.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
I get it.
Dude, that thing was
Okay.
cool, man. I gotta find some more of those like silly golf gadgets and post more of it because it's ridiculous. Like, if you need it, you need it, but I don't need that.
I would rather lose. I would rather lose than cheat.
I am a 100%.
I would rather cheat and win.
No.
Okay,
Ray, you
I'll
know,
call
what-
you
Ray,
call
you know,
you-
Ray, you know what's sad? Honestly, if I coached like a major college team and there was like rumors and a scandal, you guys would come on this show. There's not one of you that would be like, I don't think Kev would do that. Not one of you. You guys would know I would do it. Winning.
Send this guy to Miami. Give him a contract.
Oh my God. The NIL money I would use. Oh my God.
All right, guys, what are we looking forward to this weekend? Jordan, what do you got? What are you looking forward to this weekend in the sports world?
I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure. Do the playoffs start this week
Yep.
This
for
weekend?
NFL?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, I had stuff written down before. My Wi-Fi hadn't cut out. Obviously, we've seen that the NFL seems to look scripted. So I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on if you think it's a coincidence that Tyreek Hill is returning to Kansas City, Watson's returning to Houston, the Packers are facing their head coach, their old head coach, and Stafford's getting his rematch against the Lions.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Not a coincidence,
Yeah,
man.
this is how we're going out on a high note. I like what a heck of a
I love this kid, dude. This kid's great.
See?
And I mean, on top of that, you still got a lot of big names. I touched up on it on the Instagram. That was one of my first things I said about free agency in the MLB. You saw that Japanese pitcher go to the Cubs earlier today, but
Mhm.
you still got so many big names. Bellinger still hasn't signed a contract. Snell, Josh Hader, Matt Chapman, all these big guys that can really help teams are still on the market, and I really want to see if they end up going somewhere this week.
Raymond, I will go next because I'm going to end it on. I'm looking forward to Jordan's conspiracy.
Yes.
Freaking amazing.
Wow. Well, but if the conspiracy is a conspiracy, then it's a conspiracy. No. Like what's the follow-up conspiracy, Jordan? Like that's what I want to know. So I guess I gotta follow your conspiracy to see like what the next matchup will be and how it's gonna tie together, or is it gonna be the Super Bowl conspiracy?
So yeah,
And who would it be?
So obviously, you guys know that I picked the Ravens. My original pick when I was thinking of it was the Detroit Lions because I just thought that Michigan was going to be on top of the football world. But then I thought deeper into it, and when have you ever seen a pair of brothers win the national championship and the Super Bowl in the same year?
Wow.
This kid is
Okay.
blowing my mind right now. I can't even.
Yeah, we on the hook. Nice work. I love it. I love it. You know what? I might switch mine to Baltimore now. I'm into the conspiracy shit.
Boo.
Wow.
Dude, I don't even. My mind is blown by all this.
Wow.
Listen, it happens.
Bruh, it's 2024. My man is young. He's gonna call it like that.
Brothers with the football championships.
Oh my God. Who's gonna play them in the movie? Will Ferrell and the other guy?
I hope so.
Oh
The
boy.
other guy.
Bro, the
I
other guy.
told,
What's the other guy's-
Raymond, I told you the kid had some weird stuff up in that brain.
Yeah, he got some stuff going on. I like it.
I'm impressed.
I like it. Hey, that's a hell of a way to go out, Jordan. Kudos to you.
Yes, sir.
Smitty,
Thank
what do
you.
you got? You're welcome. Smitty, what do you got?
So I'm looking forward to the playoffs. That Cubs pitcher that was signed, his name is Shota Imanaga. He got 15
Mhm.
million. However, you know what? That dude right there, he's like 30 years old. I don't know what that team was thinking when they signed him. And like Jordan said, there's a lot of free agents out there. That's a little bit of baseball. I want to stay away from that. But I really want to point out a fact is for the first time in NFL history, all three Lake Erie teams, Bills, Browns, and Lions, have made the playoffs in the same season.
Dude,
Looking
who
forward to that.
are you people? Oh my God. Wow. All right. I don't,
Yeah, Kev, you go next so I can Google something.
go ahead.
No, I say you go so I can Google.
I'm
not
looking.
you.
No, I'm saying go Google away. I'm looking forward to seeing, just how everything unfolds. I love playoff football. I'm really interested to see how CJ Stroud, how he responds in his first playoff game. I think that'll be really interesting. I love him, but a lot of times these rookies in these big spots, they show that they're rookies, and I have a lot of faith in him. I like that team. Will Anderson's a beast off the edge. I'm looking forward to watching them. I really am. I think they're a fun team.
Fair enough. All right. I'm looking forward to the NFL weekend, pretty much. I want to see what the Browns are going to do,
Yeah.
what the Rams are going to do. Obviously, those are my two Super Bowl matchups. So I'm curious how that's going to go. And that's pretty much it for me. I gave my fun fact earlier in the show with Michigan being the last team to win before the NCAA national championship format was changed. They won it in 97. It got changed to the BCS. From then on, it changed from the 4-team to the 12-team, and next year's the 12-team. So, boom, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Thought you knew. So, hey, guys, thank
Wow.
you so much for joining us tonight. Heck of a show. Had a good time. Looking forward to next week, next Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Join us here. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, working on the on Instagram Live, not there yet. But in the meantime, gentlemen,
Awesome.
Have a great
Awesome job,
night.
fellas. Have a
Yes,
great
sir.
one.
Have a good night.
0-1.
holla.